Now from Hollywood, California, the horror capital of the world, the Boulet Brothers, creatures of the night.
Hello, uglies. As a new episode of Dragula Titans has dropped, Drac and I gather to discuss the melange of macabre melodramatics of our murderous little miscreants as they interpret unholy matrimony in our Gothic Wedding challenge. Before we get there, we have some updates and reminders. This week is a busy one. It is the time for the Queens of Darkness. We are at the height of our powers and our schedule is insane. Drac, why don't you catch everybody up?
Okay, so I have to think about it for a minute because there's a lot going on. Let me see. Scrying into my crystal ball. Okay, the first thing, we have a couple of dates at Knott Scary Farm this week. We will be there on Thursday night doing a meet and greet, and we appear in some haunted houses every night too, but that's a surprise. And on Sunday, this is Sunday the 26th, we will be doing a special event at Knott Scary Farm. So it's a special seated event that you can come to if you come on that night, and you don't have to pay anything extra. It's included with your general admission ticket. It's going to be really something else.
And as soon as we figure out exactly what it is, we would let you know. But I can tell you this, it's going to be at the stroke of midnight. It starts at midnight. It's our last night there, too. So this is the closing night for the Boulets at Knott Scary Farm 2025. And we will be hosting in the Birdcage Theater, which is up toward the front of the park.
And just to clarify, Swan means the last night of this season.
Exactly.
Not.
That's why I said 2025.
Exactly.
Way more to come.
Okay, so we have that. Then this Saturday night is the big night.
I was going to say, speaking of 25.
Yes, it is our 25th Los Angeles Halloween Ball. It's going to be so much fun. The stage is going to be on fire that night.
Oh my God.
Trixie Mattel there DJing. Asia Consent will be there performing. Our puppet theater, we've moved onto the stage to do a big performance. We're going to be performing. We also have a Vogue troupe, the House of Ninja, is going to be there performing. It's just going to be really incredible. I'm really excited about it.
No, absolutely. And then we are going to flee to the East Coast, where we will make our ritual appearance on Halloween night in Boston with another stellar lineup.
Yeah, and then the next day we have a signing and an appearance at JR Spooky Shack.
Yes.
Which is close to Boston. I think it's like a half an hour from there. I love it there. I really love visiting all the like horror communities in their different cities and everything. It's fun.
No, it's so good. Yeah, and it's something that kind of ties us all together, right? The love of horror. Okay, before we take a break, I think we should check in about Ian. We haven't talked about Ian in a while.
We had a couple of people write in, listener questions asking where Ian was, and I guess I'm going to break the news to you guys today. Ian is in a bear sex cult in Texas, okay? And it's kind of hard to talk about for us because, I thought he was probably kidnapped, but now I'm starting to think he probably volunteered. And we just haven't figured out how we're going to get him out of there or if we even can.
Does he want to? Can you kidnap the willing?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he misses us and the podcast and all the fans, but
Pray for him.
Pray for him. Pray to Satan that he can escape, but he really likes bears, so I don't know if it'll happen. He is streaming his own review of the Boulet Brothers Dragula Titan Season 2, which I'm sure is amazing. He must escape the sauna for an hour every day.
Just to make that recording.
Yeah, I think so too. So
I'm sure it's hilarious. Check it out if you can. And he's on Twitch doing his normal like gaming routines and just crazy as he always is.
Yeah, and Ian, if you need help, message me. Just a regular text. I'm not on Scruff or any of those things. You'll just have to send me a regular text.
Yeah. And on that note, we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back. All right, my darlings, we have returned, and it's on to the episode. Let's talk about our love of the original Gothic Wedding challenge, going back to the legendary season 2. Mm-hmm. It was so good.
It was.
And it's been years since we've seen this.
Yeah, and I have to say, looking back at season 2, and even the looks that I think Dragula contestants put together in general, everybody's not just like buying thousands of dollars and millions of dollars of costumes to get fabricated to showcase on the show. And I really love that about it. I mean, when you look back at season 2, the show was just starting out. So the cast had only seen season 1. They weren't, getting booked for thousands of dollars or anything. And they were really scraping up these incredible outfits out of nothing. And it has always impressed me.
No, absolutely. And there's been a huge array even back then in like the expressions of the challenge. When I think about Majesty's kind of like pink candy Day of the Dead, Gothic Bride and Bitch was just in all white, very, very unexpected. Victoria, of course, high goth. Abora was like weird and punk. Like there was just a lot of different ways to express that. Disastarina was on her own level too. And at least that has stayed true because that's that spirit of ingenuity, innovation, creativity, just, it continues on in modern seasons of Dragula.
I think so too.
But we couldn't just do a redo though. We couldn't just do like Gothic Wedding. We wanted to make it a little bit more spicy and a little bit more difficult, but also a little bit bigger of an opportunity to do something cool. So we decided to add the gender play of it in doing the bride and the groom. And our cast is so diverse too. So that's just, it takes people outside of their comfort zone. Whether you usually present femme in your drag, it's like, okay, you got to do both now and vice versa.
Well, that's the thing. I think if drag is going to be sort of genderless in a way, meaning everybody can do everything, which I think is how it should be, it's fun to challenge people to think and work outside of what they normally do.
No, absolutely.
And for Titans, everything we've done so far on Titans is supersized. It's not just a Gothic Wedding challenge where you come out like a Gothic bride. It is you have to be the bride and the groom. And we know obviously that theme continues throughout the whole series.
Absolutely. And we didn't come out with just one 20-foot bloody train. We had to have 2.
Yeah.
People are reacting really well to that look, which I like.
I like it too.
It's a little bit different.
I didn't love it that day.
Yeah.
I remember we were rushed because I don't have eyebrows on. I noticed that. But I mean,
that's a little context clue for listeners out there. I don't know if other drag performers do it, but when we have to air quote cut corners or we don't have enough time to get ready, the eyebrows are the first thing to go.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. What I didn't think about is when we were plotting out the schedule for the day with the producers, I forgot that by doing both a bride and a groom theme, it was twice as long to film. It took twice as long to film the floor show. So we were there for 100,000 years. So by the time it was, time to do judgment and get ready and everything, it was like, oh, forget it.
Well, just to take that and multiply it, because when I was working with one of the editing team on this floor show, the first pass on this floor show, I had forgotten too, and there's like 11 of them, so that's like 22 looks. It was like 25 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is like half the show. And I think some people would be really happy about that, but we can't fit that into the format.
They're not happy about it.
It's
We watch
much.
it with people, and I already feel like they start to wonder, like if you stay on it too long.
Yeah. So all the monsters come back to the room. They're talking about all of the craziness of Neotropolis and what happened. Jade is there, very happy to be back. She gives us kind of, I love Jade, and she's so like out there and like wacky, but she's shady and kind of viperous, but I also think she's kind of true-hearted in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So she kind of got wrapped in her words. I'm like so excited to be here. I'm so excited to be back among this group. You guys are so amazing. I mean, thank you all for being so kind and whatever.
Her
so
facial
fucking funny.
expressions and sound bites are just peak.
Yeah,
I love
know.
it. Yeah.
I really do too.
I mean, even her not like fumbling the words to the song on episode 1, I was so entertained, even though she didn't know the words, like looking off to the side guiltily and everything. I was like, this is incredible.
Yeah, I still love you. Okay, so Dahlia pretty much lays a trap out for herself. Like she had gotten to the bottom of like the Cynthia telephone game. What she had said on the hike was not about Cynthia. So she's going to absolve herself from Cynthia. And you're like, oh, maybe she's going to get out of this. Except she then puts Abora in her crosshairs and said, I wasn't talking shit about you. I was talking shit about Abora. Oh, Sigourney, I've never talked shit about you. Well, I have said that, you think you're better than everybody and the Blaze would never eliminate it. It's like, wow, you're just like blowing it up across the whole cast.
Here's the thing. I think Dahlia is a really interesting character, right? Because I can't confirm or deny because I don't know the things she says, but there is truth to a lot of the things she says. Now, is it shady to tell the producers what she knows? Yes, because I'm sure there's some sort of like thing amongst the cast where they feel like, you know, they're in school and they're the students and don't tell the teachers, which let me say this for anyone that ever plans on going on Dragula. Don't do that. I hate that so bad. It's like, you're a professional. You're here making a TV show. We're treating you like adults and like talent.
Yeah.
So don't act like children. I can't stand that.
There's another aspect to it too, because when that happens, when that energy happens, when it's like, don't tell mom and dad, like don't, or just hide this or that from production, it puts us on opposite teams.
Yeah.
And that is not what that's not the vibe you want. And that's not the vibe we want to make a good show. You want to be on our team.
Well, it also fucks the show over. I'm like, you're not fucking us over or the production. You're fucking over the episode that you're on.
Yeah, you're weakening the story. You're weakening the strength of the show that you are a star of.
I think one of the things that's happening in this season is this cast have already been on the show before, and they know how to talk to each other and communicate off camera. And I think that's very apparent. Whereas if you have a new season, it usually takes them like halfway through the season to figure out how to do that. That's not happening here. They know already how to talk to each other. And as much as we try to control that, they're only going to respect it so much. Yeah. And so I think what you're seeing here is people getting information off camera and then throwing it out on the table, which seems like a betrayal to the other people they've talked to, because that's not traditionally what's happened in the past. But the difference is this time we have a ton of audio and footage of them behind the scenes saying and doing these things. And you will see that as the season progresses.
And you love that.
I do love it because here's why. If people that are more immature about being on the show think they find a way to go in the bathroom or do something to talk to someone off camera, this is the answer to that. Because we have the footage, we have the proof, and we will call it out by airing the footage. So I think it's going to be really interesting as the next few episodes roll out.
I agree. And although a lot of stuff did happen sort of in the wings or off camera, a lot of stuff is happening in front of the camera too, because Dahlia is moving those crosshairs from Abora to Sigourney. Zava gets in with the ketamine. Cynthia chimes in against Dahlia, basically saying, in so many ways, your words have hurt a lot of people in this room, like sort of almost everybody. And then we even get brought into it with Sigourney's comments and stuff. It is a hot mess.
Yeah, I kind of want to I'm not going to say who because I don't want to throw a stone at the person who it's referencing, but there was there was several other people that Dahlia had brought up to production during filming in a similar vein, in a serious way that was like, oh my God, do we need to call someone or get help or whatever? It was a mess. It was very annoying, actually.
Yeah. And I don't think we've faced that before. We've faced a lot of different challenges and a lot of different social dynamics over the course of the show and all these different casts. But this ratting people out in a way and bringing up really kind of sensitive, mental health, medication, drugs, I don't want to steer away from those subjects either, because I've caught some things online, and I read something today, and someone was like, "Do you think it's the right time, given all of the tragedies in our community about drug use? Should we be talking about that? Should we be making light about that?" And the answer is, "Fuck yeah, we should. We should."
Do you think we should sweep it under the rug and pretend like queer people are perfect, which is unrealistic and impossible for people to live up to?
Yeah, I think the misconception is if we talk about it, it makes it more real. You think about it.
It is real.
The shit is happening all around us in communities all over the world, and it's real. That's why it's on the show.
That's why it's important to get authentic representation on TV and in the homes of middle America, because you have to show people what reality is. Because if you get accepted for the real you, that's true acceptance. Trying to sell a cleaned up version of yourself that's not real, that doesn't do anything for anybody.
I agree. And there's another element to this because there are tons of people out there that watch the show, old and young, and they're looking to relate somehow. Like they belong to our group, our community, and they have real problems. And some of the problems that the competitors face are the problems that they face too. So if we don't talk about them, that kind of isolates the fans.
Absolutely. How many people come up to us in meet and greet lines and say, oh my God, Priscilla's story really moved me. I really related to them. Or Sigourney, like, I'm a woman who does drag and like it means so much to me. We get so many messages, like, or people of color that are like, wow, I really love the representation on Dragula. Like I feel seen. I feel like I have a place. It is important to show everything, I think.
It's also important to shift to Vander, serving looks and serving cake.
Well, she was behind the coffin, so I couldn't see if she was serving cake, but she was serving cake.
Cake maybe a couple of different ways. Cake 2 ways.
Vander, once again, looking incredible. And I'm not going to say it like, oh, of course Vander looks incredible, because I hate when people that do that to me. I'm going to be like, you killed it twice in a row. Good for you. Yeah. And that's awesome. And you looked hot.
Meticulous.
Yes.
Yeah. So
like
good.
Perfect role for her.
Yeah. Okay. So we have our devious little cake eating contest. Jaharia picks the ring and she picks Sigourney for the rain on the wedding day. I didn't see that coming.
I didn't either.
It seemed random.
It really did.
And you want to know something? I think it was random because I know what happens for the rest of the season. And Jaharia, trust me when I tell you, is our number one agent of chaos. The bitch just throwing curveballs left or no one knows what direction she's coming from. I mean, it is wild.
It's an interesting ride. Yeah, me
I really
too.
love it.
Curse Sigourney. I mean, if I had to think about who I think would want to be drenched the least, I probably would have guessed Sigourney. So maybe that was the thought behind it. I'm sure Eva wouldn't like it either.
Yeah. I'm surprised Dahlia didn't get it because she's kind of getting the ire of everybody. Maybe they thought that she could, I don't know, go bend with the challenge or kind of twist it to her advantage. But
I kind of want to say something, even though I'm getting ahead of myself about the water, right? The rain on your wedding day.
Go for it.
I was disappointed in the way the rain on your wedding day was executed. And the reason why is because my intention was to completely drown them, soaking wet, looking like they crawled out of a river, which I think could, in some cases, make your look cooler. Like if I knew that was going to happen to me, I would put like Vaseline in my hair and make it all stringy and make my makeup kind of bleeding. And I'd look like a creature bride. And I think that would be so cool. And I felt like Sigourney was very like she didn't want to do it and she was leaning back and she was very resistant. I remember production was telling us she was super resistant to the water when it was happening.
Yeah, that's, not necessarily the best way to come at an extermination. I mean, I think I said it on the show. If it were me, I would be like, okay, all right, this is the card I'm getting dealt. I'm going to play the shit out of this hand, and maybe change the look a little bit. And like you said, lean into the drenched nature and sculptured hair and just kind of go with it. Make it look, you wanted to wet me more. Like I want to be sopping and with a trail just like down the runway.
Actually, speaking of, it reminds me, we were just in Sacramento with Vander last weekend and Vander did this Carrie show and was drenched like that in a very wet blood look. And I was like, that's cool. That's what I think someone could have went for.
Okay, so we're moving closer to the floor show. We meet our very special guest, James A. Janice and Chelsea Rebecca from Dead Meat fame.
Who are so amazing.
Yeah.
They were great.
Really good judges.
Yeah.
Like you could tell both of them come from with an artistic eye. And they love horror and they're looking for details. Like I just thought their comments complimented us and complimented each other. Like I felt so good up there with them.
Yeah, and they're married. I mean, I thought that was a cute idea, even though nobody noticed that. But whatever.
Oh shit! I don't
a bride and a groom.
Yeah,
oh
my God, that's so good. So here's a question. Everybody knows what we thought because they watched the show, presumably. But were there any standouts? Was there anything good or bad that maybe didn't make it to the cut, or you didn't get to say that day that you can say now because we just watched the episode again?
Yes, I want to say this, and I hope that the cast hear it. I honestly think everybody did good. I do. Like, I was very happy with everybody's looks, and it was a very difficult floor show to judge. It was. There was nothing that I thought like, I was like, you know what? That just didn't cut it. Nobody showed up like that.
Yeah.
And I think that's the problem with doing a Titan season with this caliber of cast, because it's very hard to find fault in anything that they do.
I don't know if I agree with that 100%, but I do agree with you in this instance that everybody showed up. They looked good.
Well, that's my opinion, and I'm allowed to say it, right?
And I'm telling you whether I agree with it or not. and I think this.
That's why we're here, to say our opinions, right?
Oh, no. Let's not, are we doing Nini? I think Dragula is hard, right? Reality TV is hard. This competition is challenging. You kind of know what we want. You know what the Boulets want. You know what the judges want. But there's so much to that. They want you to nail the challenge. They want it to be creative. They want to be surprised. They want you to show excellent drag, perform well, have great stage presence. I mean, that is a lot in any circumstance. Now add stress and 12 hours a day. It's rough. So everybody does a great job.
So wait, were you saying that you disagree that you found fault in what some of them did?
I don't think all of them did to the same degree, right?
No, I agree with that. And maybe that's where the judgment comes in, right? Because people say, well, how did you judge it? Yeah. And I also want to say something else about this challenge that I think people should consider. I think of our people of color that are cast members that are competing in this challenge, because I know a lot of times Black people in the alternative scene don't necessarily feel like they're a part of it sometimes. There's some communities that feel excluded to them. And so I think it's important to think about and respect how they are interpreting the challenge, right?
Yes.
Because they're not going to come out dressed like Susie. It's just not, you know what I mean? I mean, someone could, but I mean,
if they did, that would be pretty fucking fierce.
But you know what I mean? I think people are expressing themselves in the way that they relate to the challenge. And I think that should be considered when judging.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree. I think we try to do the best job of that. Represent a huge cross-section of the community and judge accordingly.
Definitely. Even with Sigourney, I think the way that she chooses to present certain times, like to me, her groom look was so sexy. I loved it. I really loved her groom look.
It was really slick, the hair specifically.
Right? There was something that was just like, I don't know, it was just really fashionable and
dapper
and slick. I don't know. I just thought it was gorgeous.
Just to mention it again, Cynthia and Eva were both like really big standouts. Like there were discussions in the judges booth and amongst production. I think any of the three of them could have won.
Yeah.
And I think what put JK over the top was just the innovation of the concept. It was very unusual.
When I think back to it, that's what stood out to me was the concept, because we told them they have to connect to each other. And I was like, oh, this is literally connected at the hip. You could turn this look upside down and one's on either side. And I just thought that was brilliant. I really did.
100%.
And so the originality really knocked it over the goalposts for me.
Yeah.
But Eva was very close, I will say that.
No, absolutely. And Cynthia was there. I remember her name getting thrown around quite a bit. Like there were definitely some voices in the room that was like, Cynthia could arguably win this challenge.
Yeah.
I agree. Interesting testimonials and talking heads go really far too, because Priscilla gives me my favorite line from this episode, and she's talking about Dahlia, and she's like, until she stops running her dick sucker, I won't believe a word she says.
You loved it when she said that.
Oh, Priscilla, I love you. I can't get enough.
If we ever remake Alice, aka Mel's Diner, I am casting Priscilla as a waitress in that show.
Oh my God, 100%. It's so perfect.
She will be the new Flo for sure.
Easy, done.
Yes.
And then we get to the cauldron. And I think here, probably the juiciest piece is that we finally see a crack in what is going on between Zava and JK.
Yeah, there's been a lot of tension between them since episode 1, but we don't know really what it's about. And I think we start to see what it's about in this episode.
I think some people in the room get it way more than others, and you can see it in the face cracks. Like specifically Sigourney, like she was gagged.
You know why I think that is? Because I think that the rest of the cast did know what the tension was about, or they had found out since episode 1, and they didn't think it would get brought up on camera.
Oh, you think that's what it is?
Yes, I do.
I think there could also be a thing like, the world is small. The drag world is really small. So if there's like the rumor mill, like you will hear it, even if it's from another city, like you kind of know everybody's tea.
Well, you think maybe they knew it before they even came on the show.
Yeah. And honestly, if people are kind of getting heated, it could make other people in the room a little uncomfortable, especially when it's personal. So I don't know, maybe that personal like layer is affecting everybody in the room.
I guess if the others knew, they probably thought it was those two's challenge to deal with if they were going to bring it up or not and talk about it in person. But I don't know how you couldn't talk about it, but we'll talk about it more next episode.
We'll see a lot more of that unfolding. So we make it to the ghostly gallows, and tonight we say goodbye to Jade.
Yes.
It was her time.
It was her time, and I'm mad that it was her time.
I know.
Jade, I am mad at you for making it your time because you came back so ready to go. Like, you were ready to be on TV again, and you were excellent.
Looking gorgeous. Your personality was on 10s. Like,
and let me say, yes, let me say that too. You looked hot the entire time.
Oh, yeah.
And just from some of our straight friends that watch the show with us, you are their favorite.
Oh, she's going to love
and they were
that.
very mad at us. Yeah, so
I love it. So,
I just wish the looks were bigger and crazier, and the lyrics were up there.
Look, we had to say goodbye to Jade, but we don't have to say goodbye to her for too long.
That's right.
That's right. Because we introduce a new segment of the show. It's kind of our ultimate curveball right at the end there, where we're bringing back the dearly departed again and giving them one chance, a road amongst the damned to get to the finale in our Hellbound Showdown.
Yes. So I don't know if people totally understood it, but the idea is that whoever makes it through and defeats whoever gets exterminated and continues to perform in the Hellbound Showdown will come back to the show in the finale and take a spot as a finalist.
I know. It's incredible.
It's a big deal.
It's really exciting.
And it's something we've never done before. And I know for me, I love all the cast members. I wanted to see more of their drag. That's the truth. That's the reason for it right there. And I want to say this for listeners. I don't know if they get this. The cast does not know that this is happening. The rest of the cast do not know that this is happening.
We worked so hard to keep them separate, isolated, no communication, even on the set when we were all in the same building. Like, there were teams of people keeping everybody separate and the secret on lockdown.
I do think someone ruined it closer to the end. Someone who has a habit of stirring up stuff in the background between production and the cast.
Oh, God. So we actually get to see the very first Hellbound Showdown, and it's Frankie versus Loris, battle of the season 1 queens.
Yes.
And last night when we were watching the show with the crew, when Loris revealed that knife in the head and then her groom matched with the knife under the top hat, I mean, that was it. Like, there was an audible gasp. They were like, oh my God, she's got it. And Loris does ultimately stay. Frankie is now done. And just to kind of take it one step further, the way this Hellbound Showdown will work, you know that Jade has been eliminated. So now next episode, it will be Jade versus Loris, and someone will go on from there who will march to the end.
Let's talk about their looks just for a quick minute because we didn't get to really critique them. I thought that Frankie's groom look didn't really match the bride.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool, but I think that Frankie is like more in shape than they used to be, and they want to flex that and they want to show it. So they just wanted to be like naked and hot on stage. I think. And I'm like, okay, wait, that became a little more important to you than actually pulling the look off.
And I'd have to say this, like, and this isn't even necessarily, this is just how I feel. I liked Frankie's groom look, but I felt like it was more suited for club days Dragula and like a punk queer club than it would be like on a television stage.
It was giving me like 80s werewolf kind of thing.
Which is cool.
Yeah, it is.
Like,
but I didn't get gothic from it necessarily.
Yeah, it was like more punk. I did love the blood though with the bride.
Yeah,
like that
the
moment
bride
I was
look
like,
was great.
Oh God, I do love that.
Yeah, the reveal and all that. Again, body.
Yeah.
And then, Loris's look was fantastic. I thought the glitter on the face was really stark and it just popped on camera. So Loris continues to claw her way back.
We are going to take our last break, and when we come back, we are going to be reaching into our bag of listener mail to answer all of your burning questions.
Welcome back, Uglies. It's time to read all of your listener questions. If you have a question for us about this episode of the podcast or this episode of the Boulet Brothers Dragula Titans 2, be sure to email us at creatures@bouletbrothersdragula.com. And we'll answer your question here live on air.
Before we begin, I do want to say this. Drac pointed it out. There's like a million questions. There's like a million questions from these first 2 episodes. We're not going to get to a million. So I'm thinking at the end of the season, we will have to catch up on some of the ones that kind of fall through the cracks that we don't necessarily get to.
Or do a big bonus episode and everyone can give us $10 and together. No.
All right, first question.
Glenn from England. I want to thank you both for introducing me to the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. She, darling. I've now binged the majority of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and moved on to Miami, Salt Lake City, and London. The brain rot is real and I love it. Please, can you let us know, besides Beverly Hills, are there any other Housewives series that you watch?
Wow, I love this.
We've gotten a lot of Housewives mail.
Oh my God, I love that they're vibing with us because like it doesn't necessarily fit into.
It's so off brand.
I love it.
But he's right on the money with the brain rot. Okay,
yeah,
so
we're obsessed.
My suggestion is you must watch The Real Housewives of New Jersey. The first few seasons are insanity. Mm-hmm. I mean, I would say the first 4 are incredible. And the first one kind of comes in and out, but the final episode of season 1 is just peak
next level.
TV.
And then followed up only by an incredible home run on the first episode of season 2.
Yeah, I think, is that season 2 or 3? I keep getting that confused.
I think it's 2. That's when
the christening.
Yeah, exactly.
It was either 2 or 3, but whatever it is, it's incredible.
So good. We do love that, and we watch that. You're already on to one of our new favorites, which is Salt Lake City. They can't go wrong. Like they are so hot. You also have to get into the original franchise, which is the Real Housewives of Orange County.
Yes, that's their first one. Now, it's not, to me, the best for the longest time was the Real Housewives of Atlanta. That is the best.
Yeah.
It's the most entertaining. It's wild, and I love it. Those first couple of seasons with Nene and Kim are just perfection.
Peak Atlanta can't be beat. The newest seasons, maybe the past several seasons,
really weird,
really bad.
Yeah, they kind of fell off, which is sad because they were like the best.
Yeah, not good. They lost their way. And the Real Housewives of New York, like that group. Once we get rid of Jill and kind of move on to like season 3, 4, 5 and beyond, and way up until like 14, 15 when Bethany leaves and comes back, like that is epic.
When Bethany comes back and Carol's there and Dorinda and so, I mean, that's where it's like, it's the best.
And like Sonia and even Tinsley's in the mix.
Drunk. They're so drunk all the time. It's incredible.
Oh my God, they are drunk in the Hamptons, drunk on a boat, drunk in the Caymans. It's just wild.
Anyways.
Luke from North Carolina writes, did you feel any kind of particular way about the first 2 monsters eliminated on this season being the 2 monsters from season 1? Loris and Frankie are obviously great talents regardless of their placement, but it was kind of disappointing to see season 1 not getting their huge chance to shine.
You know, that's not really up to us. It is in the terms of we, judge and decide, but it's up to them to bring the looks and the attitude and the reality TV, personality needed to stay on the show. You got to show who you are. You got to get in the mix. You have to. You can't disappear to the back.
Yeah, I mean, just to answer the question directly, it did make me feel a certain kind of way. And that feeling was kind of just disappointed. I felt like it was a cool opportunity from someone to going way back to the roots of the show to maybe show like a huge evolution, make it to the end. Like that would be so exciting. I was hoping, for both of them that they could do that. And
look,
it's tough.
We love season 1. Look, Vander's the exorcister. We found a way to bring Vander back. We've had Loris and Frankie on multiple different projects at this point. Melissa was on Titans 1 and did incredibly well. Mm-hmm. So, we always want to find a way to bring season 1 back into the mix. Jonah from Denton, Texas asks, when the majority of the cast have strong performances and no one performs badly, what do the judges use as their basis as to who should be put up for extermination?
Well, people perform to different levels. Like we could all do air quotes good, but it's kind of easy to see that if someone has a stronger presence or they hit the moments and their power on stage was sort of like undeniable. You can't feel that from TV. Right. You really can't. So I think that's almost like an unfair advantage that the judges have because they're in the room. We're 30 feet from them while they're doing these performances. if it comes really down to the wire and it's me, Drac, and the two guests, and we're kind of like not sure where to go because we're all sort of like locked, then Drac and I will use our extra knowledge because we know what they did the episode before and the episode before that, or how much are they giving in the laboratories? Do we know who they are? Do they have interesting ephemera about their personalities that people want to know more about? Like we've said this 1,000 times, everything matters on the show.
Yeah.
If you're professional, if you're interesting, if you're earnest about your opinions, your drag, are you a great artist? Are you a great performer? Can you adapt? All of these things are taken into consideration.
Also, a little kind of behind the scenes thing. We literally have pages of scoring things with different categories that have like craftsmanship, presentation, like all the, did it hit the theme, all these different things that we fill out. And it comes down to a numbers thing. So that's how I pick who I think should win. I add up my numbers and whoever has the most is the winner. I mean, duh. And whoever doesn't, whoever has the least is the loser. I mean, that's the way it works because that way it's fair and you're judging people on their talent.
Sean writes, my question is in regard to episode 2. What happened with the adding of props on the main stage and Dahlia changing her hair?
So I think JK had a gigantic mohawk thing on and he took it off at the location because I think it was getting in the way and hitting the beams and the lights and stuff over
You do
top.
see it in the floor show, but he pretty much takes it off immediately, but it is there.
Dahlia, she just said she had a different headpiece and she wanted to switch it to show the judges, I guess, more of the look. Priscilla had a prop and did not use it at the performance because she said it was getting in the way of their group number. Then she said she regrets it. So I think people cut some of their props because they didn't know that they were going to be having to get on stage live like that.
Yeah, and I think there may be like switching around of the roles. During the rehearsal periods or when the teams are working. Cynthia had a guitar, which I love that. It's so 80s, like it's so fun. And maybe at one point she was supposed to be one of the bassists or the lead, but then she was shifted to drum, so we didn't get to see that. But we didn't want to deny her, the opportunity to show how cool this prop was that she made that shoots blood or whatever. So, we invite them to bring it out during the judgment. Now, as far as Dahlia's hair, you got me there. I'm like, it was such a huge part of her look. That hair was everything. And it's not like I didn't like the helmet, but it did not compare to the impact of the hair.
I'll tell you another spoiler thing, and I know this happens to you too. Sometimes I have judgment planned one way in my head, and when I see them all out on the stage compared with each other, I change my mind sometimes.
God. How many times do we have it all ready to go? And Drac's like, excuse me, Casey, can we stop for a minute? And
they're like,
and everybody's sweating, like
look,
staring at us.
And I'm like,
and it's usually me like being like this. No, absolutely not. We've been through this. We made our decision. No.
Weird things happen sometimes. I'm just gonna say that because we get no sleep. We're full-time directing, full-time drag hosting the show. We don't sleep a lot, and we make some crazy decisions sometimes.
Weird stuff happens.
Just answer this last question. Have you ever woke up the next day after a judgment is some kind of extreme, because episodes take days and it's exhausting, and thought like, what just happened?
Yes. And it might not be like the next day, but like a week will go by and I'm like, did we do the right thing?
Why did we do that?
What happened?
Anyways. Sean 2 from Austin asks, first off, congratulations on Not Scary Farm. It's huge. Hearing your excitement about this additional part of the Boulet-verse really struck me. You have been seeping into the mainstream over the years, but this, for me, cements you into the iconography of the horror pantheon.
Oh my God, that's so exciting to hear.
Me too. How do you see this as a piece of the larger puzzle? I think it's honestly, it feels like our career has built up to this on purpose. Like I used to question sometimes, I'm like, how do all of our weird careers like blend together in a way that makes sense? And I think us stepping up in these horror host roles and embracing that is the answer to that.
I totally agree. I feel like everything we've done adds up to us being like the best versions we can bring to something like Not Scary Farm.
Yeah.
And it's fun. It's super inclusive to everybody. It is absolutely horror. People are screaming every night. It's so amazing. But we bring our glamour, we bring our stage presence, our experience in live events, just the production of television and what happens like building a stage show and all of that. I think it's going to play to our strengths. And what an honor, because Not Scary Farm has a long history of horror hosts that have been involved since the very beginning. Sinister Seymour.
It started with Sinister Seymour.
Exactly.
He brought the idea to them.
The whole idea. And then, on through the years, Wolfman Jack, Elvira forever, and now the Boulet Brothers. And it is iconic. And I'm so thrilled for us. Like, a lot of good stuff has been happening for us over the last year or two. I think our hard work is kind of adding up to something, but this, like, crossing over this bridge is the most exciting for me.
It's the only place that I could see myself signing up for a residency with. It's the only place I would do that with. And you know what I mean?
Especially in October, because
I wouldn't go to Vegas. I wouldn't go to New York and do something off Broadway or something. I wouldn't do it. Like, this makes sense. It feels correct.
Leah from Milwaukee writes, we have Leah from, I'm talking like Barbara Walters.
Just lean into it.
Leah from Milwaukee writes, I can't help but observe that in this season of Titans, many of the monsters have made more mention of the outside world. Mentions such as, oh, you want to do this while you're recording, or my fan base. And they've talked about like production and stuff. Was this a prompt for the monsters to talk more about this kind of stuff while recording, or did they just prompt these topics themselves? They just prompted these topics themselves. We do not encourage. In fact, we kind of encourage the opposite. We don't want things brought in from off camera or in, the outside the competition to be talked about in the show, because it's not fair to the fans. It's not fair to the viewers.
They can't follow it.
Yeah, it really just punches holes in the story. We can't control them 100%, even though I wish we could. So we make the story the best we can when they pull in these outside kind of elements.
And if somebody throws a grenade in the room, we're gonna talk about it. So we don't ask them to talk about it, but if they do, we are going to strongly encourage them to talk about whatever it is that was brought up. So I think that's what makes it a little dangerous, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Fawn from Birmingham, Alabama asks, as a fellow drag artist and lover of reality TV, Housewives especially, I noticed on your last post-mortem recap you mentioned you hadn't watched Miami. This made me wonder which franchises you have seen and who are your favorite Housewives. Well, we already answered which ones are our favorites, but let's talk about our favorite Housewives because we have not done that.
Okay. And I do have to say, I've seen a couple of seasons of Miami back when, I don't know the characters' names, but there was like that, one of their moms,
Mama Elsa.
Oh my God, I lived for her. I loved her.
The daughter's still on it.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
I remember she's kind of like, she loves to drink and she owns it.
Marisol. She's become more
yeah.
interesting, I think, now, because it went off air for a couple of years. So you watched it before that.
Yeah. Who's the fierce one, the blonde one? She's kind of central.
Is it Alexia? I think
it is Alexia.
Yeah.
See, shit, you haven't. I mean, you're pulling these girls' names right out.
I know of some of their names because they show up, like Adriana, like they show up on other podcasts and stuff that I listen to. So I still see them around.
Okay, so let's talk about some of our favorite Housewives.
Carolyn Manzo from New Jersey is one of my favorites.
Carolyn is fantastic. I'm going to have to say Dorinda Medley from New York is one of my favorites.
Yeah, let's pick one from each, right?
Okay, so from Jersey,
Danielle? No.
I like Danielle Cabral, but one of my favorites from Jersey is... She has like Joe the plumber as a husband. Like she loves to throw parties. She dresses really wacky, the pigtails.
Oh, why am I spacing her name?
What is
Margaret?
Her name? Yes, Margaret. Margaret would get my vote.
So, okay, New Jersey, mine is Carolyn Manzo, yours is Margaret. New York, who's your favorite? It's got to be Dorinda,
I think it's
right?
Dorinda, yeah.
New York for me, I'm going to go with Aviva.
Really?
Aviva is my favorite.
Oh my God, the one-hit wonder.
I love Aviva. Should have stayed around. She was a mess.
Actually, she was the two-hit wonder. I think she got 2 seasons. She was amazing on her first season, and then I understand what happened on her second season.
I love delusional Luann from earlier seasons when she's trying to be like that, like
Yes.
Southampton's like rich mom character, and now she's like a drunk like cabaret singer. But anyways,
honorary vote for Luann from both of us because she goes from countess to total booze dick hound like so quickly.
And I love Bethany too, but she also kind of goes off the deep end later and like tries to destroy Bravo, which was weird. So let's go down the coast. We have Atlanta. Next. Who's your favorite Real Housewives of Atlanta character?
I love a lot of the stars from Atlanta. They're so iconic, so many of them. I love me some early Marlo Hampton. Not my favorite, but I need to throw her name out there because I think she's juicy. I thought she made great moments.
I know your favorite.
My favorite is Sheree Whitfield.
Sheree.
Yeah. And especially that moment when Sheree and Marlo went,
oh, that was amazing.
The character, is it that serious?
Is it that serious? That was amazing. Nene's my favorite, obviously, but early Nene. I don't like when Nene was like, now I want to look like everybody else and have like long blonde hair. And you know what I mean? Like, I like her when she was just like more a real person. Yeah. So going down the coast there, we have Miami, which we didn't really watch. So we're going to shoot over to Orange County.
Yes.
My favorite is Tamra.
I'm going to have to say my favorite is Tamra also.
Oh.
I think I channel a little bit of Tamra at times too. Yeah.
You do. So then we're going to shoot up to Beverly Hills. My favorite is Kyle Richards.
Mine is Lisa Rinna.
I can see that. Lisa Rinna is fabulous. I love her. So then we shoot over to Salt Lake City. My favorite... I guess it was Meredith for a long time. Mm-hmm. It was Meredith. But now I think it might be Bronwyn.
Oh, I could see that.
Yeah.
I think at first I just kind of loved to watch Whitney's life, but Mary is coming into focus for me. Like, I'm kind of obsessed with Mary.
I saw a preview for the episode tonight and I'm like, it's going to be interesting.
I never know what's coming.
That's exactly what I'm referring to. Like, yeah. Okay.
I love it.
Anyway, so that's our favorites. It only took us 20 minutes to answer that.
Derek from Chicago writes, sorry if this is getting into spoiler territory, but I was wondering, what are your opinions on substance use among Dragula cast members? Where do you feel the line between that's none of production's business and it's irresponsible to let this continue unaddressed lies? Also, is there a support system in place for monsters who are sober, in recovery, or from the onset? I know contestants on other reality competitions have been forbidden from attending group meetings during filming and found that they are very challenging, for example. Well, as far as the support, we provide as much as we possibly can. We let them go to meetings. Yep. We give them access to their therapists if they have them.
Yeah, producers will take them to meetings sometimes. Yeah, so that's ridiculous. I would never stop someone from that.
I know,
as far as drug use and alcohol, there's not supposed to be any. I mean, that's the truth. You're not supposed to have, you sign a contract. It's legal. You're at work in a way, right? You're not an employee, but you're around crew members that are employees. So, and actually, you'll see that come up in the show later in the season too.
Yeah, I think lines get blurred because they are allowed to have a cocktail in the cauldron, and we allow that. Yeah. But then and marijuana is legal in California. And then there gets to be kind of like blurry lines. But the rules are there are no drugs and alcohol on the set or in the housing.
If you have a prescription for something, I think obviously that's different. But there's no sort of like you're not supposed to have anything like that. Ryan from Boston asks, Drac mentioned in last week's pod that some monsters don't get cast for the show because there could be something that, if got out to the public, would destroy their lives. I mean, I didn't really mean that. Anyways, yes, I did say that, but I was just making an example. With the recent arrest of Wendy Osofo and her husband from Real Housewives of Potomac in mind, it was for fraud, and Jen Shaw's arrest on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City never leaving my mind, I'm curious to know your thoughts on why people go on reality TV knowing that they have skeletons in their closet that can and likely will get out.
I don't think they're smart. I think their goals are weird. And their drive, either for fame or for popularity or for money, overrides their sense of their common sense.
I think that could be true. I mean, I also think that they become more of a target. They get more scrutiny. How many people in Los Angeles have businesses and they do shady stuff, and it's kind of in a gray area and it just goes under the radar, right?
Yeah.
But then when they go on reality TV and all of a sudden
they got a big house, and 50 cars,
and people are envious of them, and that people start targeting and scrutinizing everything they do, they start to find stuff. Maybe they go on assuming that that's not gonna
that could never
that
get
could
out.
never happen, or how would anyone know about that? But I'm like, you know, the world's a crazy place, especially now with information and everything.
Well, and thinking about it too, like Teresa Giudice's situation, if we believe like what her testimony and like what happened, she wasn't even aware of some of the illegal dealings that her husband was involved with. And it wasn't until they're in the public eye on a huge platform that people start looking at them, and then she gets totally sideswiped. I guess it's definitely a pitfall for people to go out there. If you have dirt, people are going to see it.
I don't think she knew anything. I really don't.
Yeah.
I mean, not to be insulting, I just don't think. I love her, but I don't think that math is her strong point, or I don't even think she probably knew anything about money.
Yeah. Let's move on. As a big comic fan myself, I love that you have delved into the world of comic books as authors. Do you have any favorite artists who have inspired you, or who you dream of having draw for you?
So Phil Jimenez, I think, would be a dream. I actually wanted him to do our DC comic, but sorry, Phil, I love you, but I hear you're super, super, super slow, and there was a tight deadline.
No, she didn't.
It's the truth, but I love his artwork. I actually love when he writes too. So yeah, that's who it would be for me.
That Amazonia was so gorgeous.
Yeah. Jaren asks, is the wolf throw carpet that keeps interrupting the two of you in the episode opener supposed to be a reference to the Gamork from the Never-Ending Story?
I'm going to take this one because it's not necessarily a direct reference from Gamork, but when I was picturing this wolf and talking to the puppeteer, he wanted visual examples, and Gamork was definitely the main one that I sent to him. And even though I think Gamork is more dog-like or whatever, the similarities are absolutely there. So very sharp eye, Jaren.
Oh, next question. Kristen in Dallas asks, beautiful Boulets, you have truly gone off the deep end, and I love it. Whose idea was the talking rug? Does any other furniture in Boulet Manor talk? What the shit?
Yes. Oh my God. I can't remember who came up with the rug.
We both wanted.
I think we just
the
riffed
beginning
on it.
of the Boulet Manor.
And if I had a little bit more time and a little bit more money, we would have an aviary and some talking vultures, which you may see in the future. We have like a lot of ideas, so every year we get to release a few more.
The one thing I wanted to do that we couldn't make happen, I wanted to transform Ian into a puppet vulture and have him sitting over there commenting, because that would be perfect.
That is really funny.
Who knows? Maybe it'll happen in the future. I have to learn the spell. All right, everybody. That's all the time we have for listener questions tonight. Please write to us at creatures@bouletbrothersdragula.com, and we'll try to get to as many questions as we can. Or for $10, we will read them all and catch up all at once. Anyways, make sure you watch the next episode of the Boulet Brothers Dragula Titan Season 2, airing on Shudder and AMC Plus on Monday night. And make sure you join us for the Los Angeles Halloween Ball on Saturday, October 25th, and the Boston Halloween Ball on October 31st, Halloween night.
If you want tickets to the LA Ball, they are available at halloween25.bpt.me. We'll see you next week, Uglies. The Boulet Brothers Creatures of the Night is hosted and produced by Dracmorda and Swanthula Boulet, with music by Neuron Spector.